94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Pleased to welcome the debutantes. It's Aayush Sharma and Warina in the house.
Hello. Hi.
If you're not seeing Loveyatri this Navratri, I wonder what you're doing.
That was a good one.
That's a good one.
So, man, I love the Maine Pyar Kiya jacket. So, was that a hand down? Did you get it specially made? I think it's one of the coolest things as far as styling and, the whole mood of the film is concerned. Tell me about the jacket.
Well, this actually was not a Maine Pyar Kiya. We didn't actually think of it as a Maine Pyar Kiya jacket. It was something that in the film she gets for me. And that's the reason why I'm wearing it in 2 songs, because I was so happy that finally the love of my life has given me a jacket. Having said that, it just happened. I think every actor wants to wear a leather jacket once in their life, and why not in your first film? If you don't get to wear those jackets in your first film, and especially if you're shooting in London, why not? So we just got into it, and then suddenly it started looking like, slowly it's looking like Maine Pyar Kiya jacket. I said, okay, it's okay, it doesn't matter, but I'm excited to wear it.
So, does it have all these patches and what does it say? Do you remember what it says?
It had love, it had something, it had a kiss also behind.
Yes,
It
that
had a
was...
kiss. I think that I took it out. But there were other things. There was scorpion. There were other things. So that outfit, the Chogada outfit, I have taken it from the production and I'm kept it as I'm framing it and keeping it with me.
Nice. And I always talk about how we need to have a museum, right? Not necessarily like a Madame Tussauds museum, but just a stuff where Bollywood memorabilia goes in.
Yeah.
Someday Aayush is going to make it there.
Inshallah.
So, everybody's saying, exotic girl from Afghanistan makes a debut and things like that. Turns out you're pretty desi. Having lived in Delhi for a while and then Bombay.
Yes, आप Delhi में रहते हो तो Delhi people make you.
But this whole Bombay versus Delhi thing, right? You know that we're cooler. Which is why you moved here, ultimately.
Definitely. Now I'm a Mumbaikar.
Yeah, totally. So, does your mom like it? Yeah?
Yeah.
And what does she like more? Does she like Bombay more, Delhi more? What?
She likes Delhi more because she has friends there.
Yeah.
So she loves it.
I have to say, though, that she might be missing the food when she comes to Bombay, because that's something that they're very good at.
Yes.
Their Punjabi food and their Mughlai food and things like that.
Exactly. And Delhi's pani puri.
To die for, isn't it? To die
exactly.
for. So, man, I believe you guys went to the great MS Dhoni's house for a meal.
Yeah.
How did that go? Did you have like a fanboy moment? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Dhoni. We were in Ranchi, and once you're in Ranchi, it's like everybody over there was, the moment we landed, people were talking about Dhoni, that this is Dhoni's old house, this is where Dhoni used to come to eat, and this is what Dhoni's gym, this and everything. So we just we finished up all the promotional activities earlier. So I said, Arpita she had also come to Ranchi, so we said might as well go to his house, and he was very gracious enough to, he was practicing, but he came over and we had a good dinner. We spent a lot of time chit-chatting. He was supposed to leave at 12. I think we left us out at 3:30, which I want to apologize to him because I know he had a training session in the morning.
Wow.
But he was gracious enough to have us there. He was telling us stories about his struggling days and the day how he used to sleep on the train and go to different places. And wow, that story was something we looked at each other and we said, now we talk about our struggle. And the moment you heard his story, you're like, I think we had a cakewalk.
So what was on the menu, Warina? I mean, do you remember what he served? Yeah.
Well, there was different kinds of chicken.
Wow.
I was confused, but it was delicious. Home food. So I miss home food.
And was Sakshi there?
Sakshi was there.
She's awesome, isn't she?
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, the worst part was that we are so spoiled that we have reached there and he said, can we have Coke? So, no.
Yeah.
Can we have Diet Coke? No.
Not in a sportsman's house.
Is there Limca? No.
No.
So is that, okay.
So we had lime water then. Yes.
Bro, I believe you spent a lot of time trying to acquire skills in the movie business and you've assisted. So, who did you assist? I mean, what are the films you worked on?
So, as assistant, I worked on Bajrangi, Premratan Thanpayo, Sultan, and then Tubelight. Tubelight being the last film I assisted on.
Wow.
So, I had twice got the opportunity to assist Kabir, Suraj Bajatia sir, and Ali. So, I used to not assist a particular person. I used to assist each and every department. So, every film I'll choose a department, and that department, in between the film also, I would change my departments and learn, from everybody, the basics and the techniques, how they make a film. So what an experience that was.
And it's quite cool that Kabir and Ali actually went to the same college.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
They have.
And they're both different personalities. Yeah. I mean, Kabir is all class. Ali seems to be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So, do they ever lose their shit on set? Or are they cool? What kind of directors are they?
I think with Kabir, he would be very calm. He's very calm and composed. He's very certain of what he wants, irrespective of whatever the conversation is, irrespective of what the chatter is. He knows what he wants. Ali, in that sense, in the beginning, I remember during Sultan, there used to be days when he would lose his cool. But I think that was the film demanded that. It was a heavy action film, and the way they were shooting, because the climax sequence was very heavy on action. Every take was important, and there were moments when the actor and both the actors are actually colliding. They were not faking the fight. It actually went into actual blows being exchanged. So I think it was that made him a little more anxious. But also that was his first film with Salman Bhai, so I think that also added on to the pressure. I believe everybody says in Tigers in there he became very natural. I think he relaxed. He was enjoying himself. But it was a good experience.
And it's tough being a beautiful, svelte, lanky lady when you have a commercial where they make you eat tons of chocolate and then they make you film a song where you have to eat lots of kachori.
Well, I'm a big foodie.
Good. We don't look it, Warina. Yes. You obviously have great metabolism. You just burn it off.
Well, yes. Because I skip gym at times as well. So yeah, I'm a big foodie. They made me have kachori, and then Gujarat they had a lot of khakra, thepla, a lot of things. So basically we were eating throughout the movie.
And the chocolate commercial, man.
The chocolate commercial, yes, that got quite famous.
And there's actual chocolate, or do they like only give you a little bit in this? It just keeps getting replaced.
2 days back to back, I had to, bite, and then the shot would get over, and then I had to spit it, and then again take a bite. So post the shoot, I was like, I'll never have chocolate in my life ever again.
Wow, it's a pity that
I
could never be you.
Rush.
There goes the branding of that.
No, I was thinking that I could never be you. I mean, given the way I look, but I would have loved to be where you are. Just eat chocolate all day.
It sounds great, but trust me, once you're there, you're like after 2-3 shots, you're like, okay, I'm done with chocolate.
Yeah, even too much of a good thing doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Yeah, there are lots of people who kind of handheld you through this project, both of you. And the fact that you're working with stalwarts. For example, there's Ronit Roy.
Yeah.
There is the wonderful Ram Kapoor, and other than Ronit Roy and Ram Kapoor, you have Vaibhavi Merchant, who's been helping you through the choreography. So Vaibhavi is just an explosive ball of energy, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is she? So tell me about how you got along, and how much fun it was filming with her.
Well, see, because with her being on set, she was the most senior-most person when it came to direction. We had a very young team. She was the most experienced person on set. So when she was on set, there was a certain kind of respect. There was a certain kind of silence that ma'am is there. When Abhiraj was taking the shots, we were like having fun, goofing around. But ma'am was there, we were very certain. Touchwood, she started. My first day of shoot was because we were shooting Tera Hua, and that is where Vaibhavi ma'am came in. So she set the tone of the film, and she has so much of experience, so much of knowledge, and it was so good that we had her on board, because believe me, Garba looks easy. It ain't that easy. She would cover us up. Like, she would know what are my strong points of my actors, where my actors can really shine, and she took it on person to herself that if I'm launching debutants as a dancers, I will make sure that their best qualities come out, which is something that I think I really respect about her. I really enjoyed working with her. She'll praise us also, she'll scream at us also, and we used to get yelled at, but they were happy moments, because she always wants you to get excel, and it's not only about dance that she would teach us about. She'll talk to us about life. She'll tell us how to be serious and how to work in life and what is the work ethic. So I would say that all the credibility, I keep joking around with her. I was like, ma'am, I never thought I'll be known for my dancing skills, but thanks to you, after Chokada, people think I'm a very good dancer. You've risen the bar so high. The next project, I'll have to actually say, listen guys, there is a bubble around. Let's not get into that space. So it's all thanks to her. I owe it to her.
And she's actually Gujarati or Kutchi, no?
Yeah,
So
Gujarati,
in that aspect, you must have got a lot of good feedback from her on how the Garba is really done, and how the Dandiya is really done. Yeah, Warina? Yeah.
Well, she would always tell me that, listen, you have to, there's this certain kind of adaigi in a girl's this thing. So she would always tell me that you have to bring that out. You have to, give all those expressions. And there was a lot to learn from her. And there was this kind of, we would, because she's so senior that you do not want to mess around and you want to give your best. And she is hard to impress, man. So during Dholira, I promised her that I'll give my best. So I don't know. Let's see the results.
No, but she was, during, I can remember her seniority came into play when we were lucky enough that we were doing this Garba song. It's not released as of now. So we were shooting that song, and in the middle of the song, I was like a little tired. So ma'am walked up and said, listen, I want you to dance like a hero. And I said, ma'am, wait, let me show you. She danced in the center. And believe me, I'm not joking. The moment she started dancing, I was not observing what I'm supposed to do. I was just
the crowd went crazy.
The crowd, every dancer stood by, and they were experiencing the magic bulk of every merchant dancing, and it was beautiful.
She's something else.
Yeah, the moment she performed and everybody was standing there and said, wow, people were clapping, people were hooting, and that energy she brought in. And she's like, "Tune dekha? मैंने क्या किया?" I said, "नहीं, मैंने कुछ नहीं सीखा क्योंकि मैं आपको देख रहा था." You know, I said, I'm a year, you know, how she performed, that energy. And then after that, she's like, now the take is going to be good because you've seen me. And she is bad. She's bad.
So it's like somebody hitting a century and saying, go and hit a century.
Yeah.
Listen, there's no harm in being challaned. I mean, Varun got challaned and he went and apologized publicly to it. We all get challaned. We did it at home.
Yeah.
I believe you guys got challaned in Baroda,
Only
man.
me. She got out of it.
So how did that happen?
Well, that was a very naive moment. We landed into Baroda, and there was about 40 kids who had come to welcome us at the airport. So being a debutant, I didn't really expect that kind of a reception that you're going to Baroda and there are kids to welcome you from college. So they said, okay, let's ride, let's do a love rally. So, okay, no problems. And I came out in that happiness and the haphazard situation. When you was like so many people are there, the media was there, the people were there. It was my first time I was coming out of the city to actually promote the film. At that moment, I got carried away. I said, okay, let's sit down, let's go on. So I was enjoying it. And in the middle, I remind you, it was in the middle when I realized, oops, I'm not wearing my helmet. I said, oh, I'm done. So that's how I got a challan in Baroda.
And there's no harm in it, man.
Yeah. No, I completely understand because
of course,
it's something that, if I get challaned, and the only funny angle was that I didn't expect it to be blown up next day. I thought, okay, my first, you have your dreams that, okay, my first autograph will go where? My first autograph went to a challan.
And that was all over Twitter and Instagram the next day.
So next morning, I didn't really make it to, this is a special moment when you have to Google yourself. But there's a special thing when you come on your own phone's push notification, you get happy that, I'm my own. I woken up next day to push notifications from all the news channels saying I've been fined. I said, that is what made news. Like my trailer didn't make news. My challan has made news. But I learned my lesson.
Yeah, we all do. So, first movie together, are you guys buddies? And do you hang with Arpita? Do you hang with his son? How are they? What's so beautiful about this wonderful family? Tell me.
Well, when we started off as two strangers and we would not talk that much, and I'm an introvert, so I don't talk a lot. But we had multiple reading sessions, and there would be times where we would, just chill with me, Aayush and Abhiraj. So now I can say I've found a friend in him. Now we have become buddies, and I generally don't get along with girls. I get along with guys more. So now it's like sort of
there's a bro code
happening.
There's a bro code happening between both of us. Which is like, in Arpita understands. She's because all my workshops used to happen in my house. So she's seen us, like first we were like, hello, hi, do you want something? Can I get you something? To a point where I say, she comes in and says, kuch chahiye na to kitchen mein bol dena. Why are you asking me to be formal with you?
So we were in London once and we went out for dinner. So everybody was sitting on the table and ladke ek taraf, and I was moreover interested in his and Abhiraj sir's conversation. So Arpita was like, सुनो लड़कियों के साथ बात करो. So I'm like that. We have gelled up, and he irritates me at times as well.
Is he good at it?
And for
oh my God, he's a Scorpion.
What are you?
Pisces.
But Scorpio Pisces get along, man. They're water signs, yeah?
Yeah, we do get along.
Yeah,
we do get along a lot. But it's like, my inherent, leave me alone for 25 minutes, and I have a certain nature. I don't like my phone that much. I don't enjoy using my phone. I don't really like to be on phones.
Wow, you're really old school. Good.
Yeah.
Actually, that's good.
It's
in an age where everything has become so digital. Yeah.
It's actually transformed. Earlier I was always checking what's happening on my social media profiles, but now I think with the time, with the kind of noise that's around the film and now that I'm still getting used to, I really feel that there's so much in this country. Like I've been traveling around the country, I'm going to Kolkata, all the places I've never been before. So there's so much to absorb, there's so much to learn, there's so much to see, and we just are, if I'm going to Kolkata and I'm not absorbing the city, but I'm absorbing, consuming media on my phone, I'm wasting a golden opportunity. So I don't really use my phone that much. I don't really.
He prefers troubling me.
Yeah. So if she's sitting, basically if she's sitting in the car, it's like after 5-10 minutes, and she's on the phone. So I just like to bug her because hello, like if I'm in the car, I want to talk. I just want to have a face-to-face conversation. I'm the last person who can be on the phone and talk.
So why don't you give it back to him? Aren't you getting better at that?
She's
well,
trying.
I'm trying hard.
She's trying.
Go for it. Come on now, Warina. You can do it.
You know, the thing is that she tries. She's trying very hard. I give it to you. You have some comebacks. Sometimes she does have mind-blowing comebacks, but she doesn't want to challenge the scorpion. You know, then she feels like the more she instigates me, the more I'll go at it. Nowadays, she has a new trick. She puts her music on and then she closes her eyes and she goes off to sleep.
Oh, she's into Shanti.
So she does that.
You didn't crack that code.
No. Yeah, you know.
You got to know.
Yeah, but she doesn't remember. She understands that AirPods are very easily you can take it out of the ear. If you take out one, the other music stops.
What an album this is. I mean, you guys just got so lucky. So here's the Justin Bieber of Gujarat, who's this Darshan. He has ladies falling over him all over the planet, considering there are Gujaratis in every corner of this globe.
Yeah.
And you've got Tanishq, who's such a awesome mainstream new age composer, and there's a bit of Badshah in there. There's some old school Atif Aslam in there. So this is the kind of soundtrack that you want to have on your playlist. Yeah. So a little bit about the music. So what are your favorites? What is it? I know that Chogada is the grand Navratri musical, but there are hidden gems in there throughout. Yeah.
So honestly, before we started filming for Loveyatri, we wanted to lock the album. We wanted to have a clear structure on what kind of music are we going to be offering, because considering it's a debutante film, I think people still take time to get used to new faces.
Yeah.
But the music is something that people can instantly connect to. So we were certain that the music has to we don't want any of those 2 songs work, but rest are all filler songs. Sometimes happens that you just have a 5-song album. We have 6-7 songs in a film. So 7 songs. We wanted all of them to be very catchy. All of them targeting different people, because although this is a Gujarati based film, we didn't want it to certainly look like only a Gujarati person would understand Loveyatri. Khilad Jave is a little bit towards the Punjabi side, and we have Honey Singh also. So there's a
and then you've got the classic ballad, which is Tera Hua.
Yeah. Then we have this thing. So with Chogada, we spent about 4 months. We were trying to crack the song. My whole idea about Chogada was like, let's make one song like how Punjabi song breaks all barriers. If you're living in Maharashtra, you're living in South, you're living in Kolkata, you still listen to Punjabi music, but even if you don't understand the lyrics, you still want to listen to it. I said, let's make a Gujarati song which breaks all barriers. Let it be pan India. Even if you don't understand Gujarati, you don't understand the meaning of Chogada, you don't understand the meaning of the whole song, but it's so catchy. So that's what Chogada. It took us 4 months to crack Chogada, and finally Chogada.
So what does it mean for non-Gujus?
So non-Gujus, it's like Chogada is basically, because when you do Garba, Krishna Bhagwan used to wear the mukut.
Yeah, of course.
Chogada is the guy who wears the mukut. Other than Rangila Tara, Chabila Tara, it's all the kind of different dance form, dancers who are there dancing. Somebody's Rangila, somebody's Chabila. So in this film we used it as like I'm singing her to her, that I'm all the kind of dancers you've seen, I am that for you. Chogada became, and touchwood, like for me, I somehow knew Chogada is going to work, because when we were shooting for Chogada, because we were shooting it in London outside the mayor's office, over there British people were walking by, tourists were walking by, and they had nothing to do with Indian films, and they were stopping by, and the beat were good on, they take out their phones and they'll start recording it, and they were like, they were asking what is happening over here, because this tune is catchy, and we had BBC had come and they wanted to know about the song. So I knew somewhere down the line, this song, if it's getting the attention in London, it will definitely get the attention in India.
No, you're right, because they normally, because of Harrow and Southall and Wembley and West London, with the whole wave of Jagidi and with Rishi Rich and Jay Sean, they used to Bhangra and they used to Punjabi.
Yeah.
And here's this breakaway Gujarati hit. They must have been blown out of their socks. I have to say though, Warina, that you can do sexy very well. So there's Akhlad Jave where you're doing sexy, and you can do traditional too, which is, in Chogada you're doing traditional. Which did you enjoy more? Do you enjoy the sexy more, the traditional more? What's more you?
Thank you so much for the compliment. Well, I enjoyed both of them because they both have their different, flavors, style of dancing. And I've never, apart from, where you go partying with your friends, you just let your hair loose and you just party. I've never had any sort of formal dancing training. So for me, both of them were special, but I would yet say that Akhlad Javi is my favorite.
Nice. Was that shot in Bombay?
Or was it shot in Bombay.
Yeah?
Yes.
In a club? In an actual club?
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. I love the fact that the London Bridge is at the back. Is that the London Bridge?
Yeah, that's London Bridge.
Yeah, and you're on the bank.
Yeah.
And that's why you're filming. So did you take over that area through the day, or did you do an early morning thing to avoid the tourists or the locals? How did that shoot flow?
We actually had it till about 6 p.m. We started at 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. We actually didn't mind the tourists to be there, because the whole idea of the song is that it becomes a Garba flash mob. That it is guy starts a Garba flash mob. So we wanted people to come in and see the shoot. So that also adds up, production saves some money. We'll rather we're using tourists to just come back. Just, you want to enjoy shooting, come, why don't you watch it? So we were using all those techniques because that is what we wanted to actually do that. What was surprising for us was that because it was right outside the mayor's office, people from the mayor's office came down and they said, okay, what's happening? They were enjoying the song. And one of the persons came and said that, there are a lot of Bollywood films being shot, but this is the first time I'm seeing about a crew of more than, 90 to 100 dancers have come and they're dancing. And we didn't really have, the background dancers weren't Indians. They were British dancers who learned Garba for that song. So they also learned everything.
Within 2 days.
2 days. In 2 days. So the energy over there, it was like when we were doing Chogada, it was like from the background we could listen to a lot of dancers saying, come on, give it your best. So we're like, okay, we're doing an Indian folk dance with Gora people dancing behind us. And they were also so energetic, and wow, what energy we had that time.
And that's what you want to see, right? You want to see a diverse, inclusive set where there are African American people, there are Caucasian people, there are white people, and there are Indians, and doing this dance form, which is Garba, and I think that's so unique, which is what we can teach other cultures, and that's really fabulous. So did you and Abhiraj assist Ali at the same time on the same film?
Yeah, we were
so
together.
What film was that?
Sultan.
Did you get along?
So Abhiraj was the first AD back then.
Okay, so he could pull rank on you. You were second?
I know, I was a last AD.
Oh, sweet.
I was a person who was, the
continuity.
Runner. Yeah, the runner guy. You have to be, just go to tell this guy. So I was that. And that time I was just learning photography. So what I would do is when I want to take some break off set, so I'll take my camera, I'll start taking pictures of Salman bhai. Because when I'm with him, they will not yell at me. So I was like, okay, I'm taking pictures. And I remember Abhiraj used to get damn irritated because my camera used to make that sound when he was giving it a shot. Khachak. So he would say, put that thing down. Don't make disturbance. And he used to be a little strict person. Always, Abhiraj is a very serious guy. Like, he's actually a fun guy, but he comes across as very serious, always proper and everything. So when I got to know that Loveyatri is being directed by Abhiraj, my mind is like, oh God. Now this guy is not going to give me, he's going to be very serious. But surprisingly, as we started the journey of Loveyatri, I got to know him better. We understood that first AD has a lot of pressure on him, so he tries to make everything work. But as a director, he was the most relaxed person to work with. So he keeps pulling my leg. He's like, you were my junior. Suddenly you're acting in my film and I'm directing you. So I said, life goes round and round. But I think we have become brothers now. We both, Loveyatri has been a team effort. Like before Warina joined in, everybody joined. It was me, Abhiraj and Salman. We were 3 people in the production house who wanted to make a film. So it was like we 3 used to sit down and jam on ideas and just say, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? And say, yeah, do it. So me and Abhiraj have been so involved, which was actually not my job. As an actor, you don't really get involved into production matters. But I was involved in the music. So me and Abhiraj used to have a full conversation about music, because I still say that, I'll say it on radios also, that Abhiraj has a very bad music sense. So we would have this negotiations that no, he said, no, the song is not working. No, you please stay out of my music. I used to keep telling him, stay out of my music. You do not interfere. And he would say, okay, fine. So you had to convince, because he's a director, you had to convince him. They'll make him understand this music is for this audience. You have to understand it has this beat. Believe you me, this song is going to work. Yeah, like for Akhlad Javi, he told me, it was a very funny moment when he heard it for the first time.
Oh God.
So he said, come on, this is Akhlad Javi is a Punjabi song. How can you have a Punjabi song in a Gujarati film? I said, yeah, Abhiraj, firstly, this is not a Christopher Nolan film. Let's begin with that. Okay, so I said, this is what I told him. I said, this is not a Christopher Nolan film. Let's begin with that. Secondly, this song is being shot in London. It's in a club. How does it matter? Like, you can't discount. You're pushing it that you're expecting people in London to club also play a Gujarati song. Yeah. Akhlad Javi, because I
play Punjabi MC or Dr. Zeus.
Yeah, so I said, come on, you can, I bartered, like, for about 2-3 days, we're bartering all those ideas. He's like, no, but I don't think so. Then Badshah is also there. Won't it look commercial? I was like, please make it commercial. I want it to be commercial. So yeah, we had a...
And also, it's quite interesting that you were filming in Baroda, which must have been hot as hell. And then you jumped to London in the winter, in the semi-winter, which is 1 degree minus whatever. So how did that happen? So the woolens came on, yeah?
No, so the smartness was that we wanted to show it as a Navaratri period. That is about saying about the September-October period in London. So it was not that cold. But when we reached to shoot London, it was very cold. So there goes our jackets and there goes this thing, and a director just walks in and says, listen, I come from YRF and I've seen actresses dance in the snow with saris, actors in shirts. So go ahead, perform like actors.
Like Switzerland, like SG used to do in
G.
Switzerland.
So suddenly he wanted to create that in London. And our first night shoot, we were shooting in the South Bank area, and we had to do a very important scene. And that shoot, we just started giving our dialogues. So the dialogues came out very, very nicely. So it was a competition between me and Warina, because the moment she'll give it out, kaise ho? So they were like about two rattlesnakes just passing. So finally he had to cancel the shoot, and he said, today you guys are not at the form. I think we should just come back. So, and I was lucky enough, there were no heaters, so I put it all into production. So if the heaters weren't there, otherwise I've done a great job.
You guys didn't answer the question about the senior actors. I mean, Ram plays your dad.
He plays my
Ayush.
mama.
He plays your mama.
Mama.
And
Ronit sir
Ronit plays.
my- Yeah.
It's not easy, huh? These are all seasoned actors. And you're going into your first film nervous when you had exchanges of dialogues with these guys? Yeah?
I think I would say I am lucky to have him, because they knew that being debutants we are nervous. And Ronit sir, I've hardly shot with Ram sir, but Ronit sir would take me through each and every scene beforehand, and we would practice, rehearse, and he would say that, beta, take this line like this, and you can maybe try this expression, or maybe you can say it in this particular way. So he was very helpful. So I'm like super happy to have had a chance to work with him.
And Ram is so cool, right? So Vinay, who's actually filming this, always says that when Ram comes into studio, he can only hear laughter. There's loud laughter that Ram has, loud laughter that I have. He's such a cool guy.
No, so the thing with Ram sir is that we didn't have the workshop time with both of them, and I've heard so much about them. And first day when Ram sir walked in, and we were like, okay, so senior actors walked in, we have to be very respectful. And I think he just came like, he cracked a joke. There goes the second joke. Then goes a third joke. He is not stopping, and he's calling me Chameli, saying you're so white, you look like Chameli. And he's he has dialogues which I was like, okay, fine, I have to be rehearsed today. He comes and says, so what are we doing? So I said, sir, do you want to rehearse? No, 2-3 takes will be bad takes. 4th take we'll figure out what to do. 5th take will be a lock take. Then we'll continue just sticking what's happening on the 5th take. I said, great, this man has a plan. So we had no rehearsal with Ram sir. We were just joking around, the energy off camera. But one thing that's very important to learn from him is that when he would know that my tuning with him is matching, even if it's my close up, he will stand next to the camera and give me dialogues, because he wanted that I do not break away from the character. So he was very helpful. He's a very giving actor. And there would be times he'll come and tell me, listen, take the camera facing. I've done enough films. This is your first film. People want to see you. So just take. I'll come. So I think as an actor, for him to be so giving. Well, for Ronit sir, it was a different ball game. I honestly thought that
he's a method actor.
He's a method actor. He has a different way of approaching a scene. But I only thought he was a very serious guy. But the day I went and we had a serious scene to shoot, we both cracked up and we both were laughing. There was a sequence where I think it's a trailer also, where he breaks the glass of a car. There were a couple of takes, but he was not able to break the glass. The glass, I don't know, whatever that British glass was mind blowing. It was not cracking. And the moment he cracked it, he looked at me with that excitement. I finally broken the glass, and I looked at him and we laughed. And my director's like, finally I got a shot, and you guys had to laugh in that. So me and Ronit sir became quite friendly with each other. We started laughing, and I said, sir, I had a perception that you're very serious about your work. But he's like, I don't know, I'm very serious about you, but with you there's something that I just can't stop laughing.
Awesome.
So amazing experience. There was always a fun thing to work with them. There's so much to learn from them.
So Sohail and Arbaz, do you have any scenes with them, Warina? It's a special appearance, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
you have scenes with them.
Yes.
Now that is difficult, not to crack up when those two are around. So it must have been like, dinner out at the Khan household.
No,
having the two of them.
The problem was that was the first day when I got to know they said it's an 8 a.m. shift. And now for me, whenever they give me the shift time, it's about 45 minutes upar niche.
Sure.
Like, that's a luxury I take for 45 minutes. 8 o'clock, they're not going to start shooting before 10:30. So I'll show up by 9 o'clock, 9:30, I'll be there and ready. Suddenly, that day I got to know Sohail bhai and Arbaz bhai are coming at 7 a.m. I said, okay, now today I can't be late. I'm dot 7 a.m. I walked in. Sohail bhai walked in and Arbaz bhai said, I'm not coming for 2 p.m. So now we are like, okay, so I am at 7 a.m. on set, on time. And so he's like, I'm not going to come before 2 p.m. So we all are sitting, we're going to sleep at my vanity vans. Next time we start shooting and he comes and we start shooting. Now it's you can act with a lot of people, but you can't act with your family. Like I can't perform in front of my family. Every time I'm about to give a dialogue, they'll just look at me and that look would make me laugh. That look would make me laugh because he's like, they're looking at me and they're like they have this expression like, so you're going to act in front of us now. And they had to speak Gujarati. So they were were speaking Gujarati, they were cracking up, and both of them were in a funny zone. I was in a funny zone. I have to be serious actually in that scene. So there was a point, and finally the director said, "Come on, guys, let's shoot." And so I was like, "Okay." So I couldn't. Every time I'm looking at him, I'll start laughing. So what he did, he was so sweet. When I was after a certain point, he closed his eyes. Every time when I look at him, he'll close his eyes. I'll give the dialogues to him, go back to Arbaz bhai, and then I'll start performing there. When I go back, he will again close his eyes. So he was very understanding. And there was actually they came to shoot one small section in London as well. And when they were shooting for the song, the Soulbaj just walked onto the set, and he had come only for a day to London. So he walked on the set. I was like, "Bhai, how are you?" He just looked at me and said, "Pyar hame kis mode pe le aaya." So his expression was, "All for you. Because of you, I have to come to London for one day to do one small scene, and you've taken the liberty to do that because you're my brother-in-law." So I said, "Yeah." So we didn't ask them if they want to do the film. They were not asked. Basically, we just went and told them that we want you in the film. They said, "But why?" I said, "What is the film like?" I said, "This is the scene. This is the date. You please be there."
Sure. You grew up in a politician's family.
Yeah.
So I've never had a friend who's a politician's son or anything. So how was your childhood? I mean, were there 10 guns and commandos and security all around, or was it more chilled out? How was it?
It had my grandfather was a politician.
Yeah.
So for him also there was a lot of security. Then my father became a politician, and with him then there was a lot of security. So I grew up in a very protected environment. You know how these Delhi houses are, where everything is guarded, everything is protected. So I grew up in that environment, very serious environment. Like because you're representing a political family, you were not allowed to it's a very conscious thing. You go to a party and you start dancing. Like you can't dance if you're a politician's son. You better be standing rod straight. You can't go to random parties and just start dancing. So that was my upbringing. Very shy, very calm. Think before you talk. Don't talk too much. Listen more. So that was my upbringing. It was nice. We used to our dinner conversations were not about how we are doing. It was more about how the country is doing, who did what, and what the news is about today, and what is everybody's thought, and everybody would have those inputs. So yeah, that was my upbringing. That was what I grew up listening to.
And now it's a 360-degree turn.
Yeah, now it's a 360-degree turn. Like now my father and me don't know what to talk about. I don't know about his politics, and he doesn't know about my acting. So we both
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Amongst all the cities you've lived in, you're not allowed to say Bombay.
Okay.
Which is the city that you really loved? You, your mom, which is the city and why amongst the cities that you've lived in?
I would say Kabul.
Why? What is so special about Kabul?
A, it's home, and B, I think it's beautiful, and you get to experience all the 4 seasons there. Like we have proper winter, which we don't get in Bombay. Snow. Then the spring is very beautiful. Even the autumn is beautiful. So
it's Khuda Gawah and more. And that is our intro to
Khuda
Kabul.
Gawah and more.
yeah, even that it's one of my dream roles. If they recreate Khuda Gawah, I would love to.
Afghani girl, there you have it. The genes are working.
But imagine when we started working with her, my curiosity, because Afghanistan is a place that you've heard about, you know about it, but you don't really know what's happening there. And I think very interesting fact about Afghanistan that she told me was that in the 1970s it was actually the fashion capital of the world.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Paris of the East. So
Yeah.
your mom, your grandmom must have been like the cool ladies around, man.
I at times see the pictures and I'm like, wow, you used to wear those short skirts. And my nanny would be like, yeah, I would roam around with your grandpa. We would go to concerts, we would go to cinemas and wearing those short skirts and riding a motorbike. It was all normal.
I've always believed that our grandparents are cooler than us.
I agree.
It's always there. What's the most amazing part of your marriage? Do you have a moment that you think is so amazing?
My amazing moment was the day I had when I was in the OT and I died. I think that was the most amazing moment for me, and I'm sure for Arpita as well. We two started and how Ahil became a part of our life. I think that day is something that I would remember throughout my life.
We're heading into the festive season, you know that, right? And you live in Mumbai now. So we're going into Navratri followed up by Diwali.
Yes.
Yeah? What's your favorite festival? And how do you celebrate it?
Well, ever since I've shifted to India, that's like it's been years, I celebrate everything. So my favorite still would be Eid and Diwali.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, this is a question, Aayush, everybody is going to ask you, but you're going to have to forgive me. I have to ask you.
No,
because
please,
I'm proud
please.
of this interview. How did you meet?
Okay.
You go up to Salman Khan and you ask for his sister's hand in marriage.
Yeah.
Dude, you have to have guts of steel. How did that go? How did that flow?
Well, it's a long story. Me and Arpita were dating, and it all started with a very interesting moment that it was about 1 a.m. We came from a party, and she said, "Look, our friends are coming. Let's watch a film." I said, "Okay." We went to Galaxy to watch a film, and while I entered, I said, "Listen, I think it's 1 a.m. is too late, for all of us to come to your house." She's like, "No, my house is always open." I was like, what if your brother sees us? He'll get very angry. So no, my brother's shooting in Karjat. Okay, so we all sat down. We were watching a film, and suddenly we heard that about 3 a.m. the bell go off, and we heard some footsteps. And I said, okay, this house is constantly open. Everybody's walking around. Suddenly he opened the door, and it's a Salman Bhai standing over there, and we are watching a film. And he came and he started watching the film. So he's not realized that we all are there, but he's just standing and watching the film. So Ivy stood up and she just turned around, and Arpita introduced, that's Aayush. He just looked at me, and he was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. He said hi. It was a 3 a.m. meeting, and I was like, in my mind I was thinking, okay, now I'm getting beaten up for sure. And it was about 2-3 other people. He's not noticed anyone. He just noticed me. Sharp person. Next morning he woke up and he told Arpita's mother that, oh, last night I met Arpita's boyfriend, sweet guy. And she knew about us. She definitely knew about us. So she's like, oh yeah, he's so and so. He's from Himachal. There's that. She thought that Arpita's actually introduced us, and there goes everything. There he knows everything about me. So I get a call that day that he wants to meet me at in the night. Okay, regarding what? Said, I don't know. He wants to meet you. He wants you to come and meet him. So I said, okay. So that moment, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay. So usually you're scared about with your girlfriend's brothers. You don't want to meet your girlfriend's brother. Yeah. Who wants to meet their girlfriend's brother? Nobody wants to meet. Tough one. And then your girlfriend's brother is bhai. Is the bhai. So you have to walk in and look into his eyes and say that I'm dating your sister. Like, wow, great. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I need to buckle up. Let's go in. And I think that was the most intimidating meeting, because the moment I walked in, he was just sitting on the couch, and there goes his stare, that cold stare, and he just asked me brief questions. So he said, where are you from? I said, sir. He said, Himachal. So yeah. Who is your father? Is a politician? Yeah. From Mandi? I said, yeah. Then he started talking, and in my mind I was like, okay, he's done the full research, so he definitely knows who I am, what I'm doing. So he said, come walk with me. And in my mind, if you've seen this film Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya, when Arbaz bhai takes Salman bhai ki walk with me, there he puts him with makes him ride that horse. In my mind I'm thinking, I hope he is not taking me to some corner and right now I hope that's not the case. But he was very supportive. He asked me, he's like, so what's the future of your relationship? And I said, I'm going to marry your sister. He said, aren't you too young? So I said, yeah, but I don't want to live in regret, because once I'm older, I might want a wife like her. So that's the reason why I don't want to live in regret. He said, great, very good. You guys are getting married. And that's how it suddenly happened. Next day I got to know my dates are getting fixed, and we all are getting married. Here we go, getting married.
Good on you, bro. Good on you. Listen, I have to say this. I've interviewed lots of debutants in my time. People have been edgy, nervous. Some people have not said the right. This has been one of the most fun ones. You guys are witty, you're cool, and this was one hell of an interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So much.
All the best. Can't wait to see Loveyatri.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you.